in the world of sports. From the crack of the bat, CAF Club competition, Summertex coach briefing the Stormers ahead of the big clash against Raja Casablanca, while preseason for the clubs continue with some latest transfers. Ghana FA Congress happening today at the Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. Thiago Motta excelling with Juventus as Fabregas also earned Como their first ever point in the Serie A in 20 years. The US Open has started and some major shocks have already started happening. That is to the switch of the net. We've got it covered here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Well, let's begin from the Ghana FA Congress and the ordinary meeting that happens for the GFA before every season. The 30th one happened today at the Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. Yesterday was the arrival, and all delegates who will be present at the Congress had to spend the night at the refurbished hostel at the Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. That was the first ever time that the facility has been hospitable for congressmen. We're expecting that a new pitch will be unveiled, as well as a new ambulance at the Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence from the Ghana Football Association. Well, a lot of discussions will be going on ahead of the new season that begins on September 6th of the Ghana Premier League. Yes, that is going to be the first ever competition that is going to start on the GFA calendar. But this Saturday, we'll see the champions of champions. So we'll be having a lot on that. My colleague Belishan will be present on the grounds. Will be feeding us with a lot on 3 Sports GH and TV3, as well as 3FM across all the socials, and also on the other bulletins that will be coming up. Let's move away from the GFA Congress. So as you can see, President Edwin Simeon Okrako, together with Mark Addo and some other members of the GFA, Neil Armstrong Motabi there. Let's move away to FC Summertex coach Nuruddin Amadou, who has revealed his team will have to adjust playing away from their usual base in Summerboy. This comes after the Navy second leg victory over Cameroon's Victoria FC in the preliminary round of the CAF Champions League.
Not necessarily, but it's also a point, because in Summerboy, even during the league, the just ended league or last season, whenever we are playing Summerboy, their motivation is high, the supporters are behind them, and so the feeling was so good. So we have missed that. But we don't have any option. We have to continue to play, because our home we have not met the CAF requirements, so we don't have anything. But the few that come to support us, we do appreciate their efforts. So wherever they are, they should continue to support the team. We will do our best for them.
They are going to do the best, according to Nuruddin Amadou. They play Raja Casablanca in the second and final preliminary stage before they can qualify to the group stages. Now, Arsenal maintained their perfect start to the new Premier League season with a 2-0 win over Aston Villa on Saturday. It was not a very perfect performance on Saturday, perhaps typified by Thomas Partey's display on the ball. The Ghanaian kept Arsenal moving forward, and of course, he also provided the second goal. Partey's performance has sparked debate among Arsenal fans. A few felt that his positive contributions outweighed the flaws in his display. Belishan sums up on these thoughts.
It's been the perfect start to the season for Thomas Partey, who has flown off the blocks in superb style. It has taken him only 2 games this season to surpass the 0 he scored last term. That goal against Aston Villa was his 6th Premier League goal for Arsenal. It wasn't just goals that the 30-year-old lacked last season. He played only 14 games as injuries ravaged his season, at the start of which uncertainty about where he plays and his future lingered. Partey's multiple visits to the treatment room means he's made 97 Premier League appearances in 4 seasons. During his absence, particularly last season, Mikel Arteta was forced to rely on others like Declan Rice and Jorginho in field title charges. There's no doubt that Partey's presence is crucial, as Arsenal have won 66% of the games the Ghanaian has featured in the Premier League. He looks fit, has looked assured and confident in the first 2 games, and seems set to play a key role in their charge for a first Premier League title in 20 years. With suggestions this could be his last season at the club, will he sign off from North London with a bang?
Is he going to sign off from North London with a bang? That is a question for the Gods. Now, ahead of the GFA Congress that will be happening today, head coach, technical director of Media Mercy has believed that the Ghanaian coaches should bring themselves up to speed if they want to get to the top. Well, he spoke after Coach Kwesi Appiah called on all Ghanaian coaches to elevate their standard by enrolling in courses that will get them jobs outside the country. Augustine Evans Adriti.
We held a meeting, and all that we're saying is Ghanaian coaches shouldn't just sit. If I am B, a month ago, there was license A course in Nigeria. Okay. Why don't you move there? Okay. Or why don't we arrange for maybe a coach who is assistant license B just to go and then improve on his licensing? Okay. Not Nigeria alone, other neighboring countries. Yeah. The A licensing is still ongoing. Yeah. So if Ghana is delaying, if Ghana is not coming up with license A courses, we need to research and find out, even if Botswana or wherever, Kenya, wherever, we have to push our coaches there to make sure they also acquire the license.
So that is from Augustine Evans Adriti, technical director for Medium Sporting Club. Away from that, Bichim United has secured the return of star forward Augustine Okra for the upcoming 2024-2025 Ghana Premier League. The club made the announcement via the social media channels on Monday. In the statement, Bichim conveyed enthusiasm about Okra's homecoming, emphasizing the anticipated positive influence on the squad's performance in the forthcoming season. So Augustine Okra returns to Bichim United for the umpteenth time. Well, away from that, Nicholas Jackson gave a strong response to former Chelsea midfielder John Mikel for criticizing his finishing. Well, this came after his opener for Chelsea last Sunday in their 6-2 win over Wolverhampton Wanderers. Orekon Pofo has all the details on that.
Nicholas Jackson's masterclass performance in Chelsea's 6-2 thrashing of Wolves should have been a cause for celebration. Instead, it ignited a fiery feud with Blues legend Mikel John Obi. Mikel had been critical of Jackson's finishing, stating after a recent Manchester City defeat, stating, and I quote, "You need a striker who knows how to hit a ball back in the net, and that's what we don't have." He even suggested Chelsea needed and I quote, top striker like Haaland. Jackson, who has netted 17 goals in 47 appearances since his £32 million move, wasn't having it. After the game at Molineux, he fired back on Instagram with very strong words. The young Senegalese striker's response divided opinion. Some applauded his boldness, while others felt it disrespectful to a Chelsea icon who spent 11 trophy-laden years at the club. The former Nigeria captain acknowledged on his podcast that Jackson works hard, but if there's areas he can improve on, he will be vocal about it. Mikel's criticism wasn't entirely unfounded. Jackson has faced scrutiny for high-profile misses, with 3 of his goals coming against 9-man Tottenham last season. Yet, his potential is clear. As Chelsea potentially eye Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen, a move Mikel supports, Jackson faces a crucial season to prove himself. The feed with Mikel adds pressure, but also motivation.
That is from Orekon Pofo. But John Obi Mikel has handled the situation while responding to Nicholas Jackson's comments.
I really like the guy as a football player. I like him. There's something there as a football player. You know, I haven't said that he's a bad player at all. I've just said that his finishing qualities, it's not there yet.
He's a young boy.
He's a young boy, exactly. And all I've said is that he needs a more kind of experienced striker to come into the football club to help him, you know, to help him improve, to help him get better. And because we all know, we all can see the shift he puts in, week out. So for me, I would like to see my African brother, like he said, do well in the Premier League, come to Chelsea, a big club, a massive club, you know, where we've had one of the greatest strikers in Didier Drogba from Africa, Ivory Coast, did really well. I'd like to see him do well as well, you know, in the club. So for me, I will not be, if he plays well, I will praise him. If there is something to be said about him, where he needs to improve, I will definitely say it. And, you know, listen, if he scores every week and tells me to shut up, I'll take that, you know.
Oh, John Obi Mikel there. We'll be giving you news on Bruno Labbadia, who is now the coach of the NFF. Well, Franco will be getting us a couple of that is information on him. But let's move on to Liverpool boss Arne Slot, who has spoken about defender Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is the club's deputy captain. Arnold wasn't happy when he was substituted when Liverpool went up 2-0 last Sunday in their Premier League encounter. While his reaction coming off Brentford has been addressed by Liverpool's new boss Arne Slot.
I understand. It's not every player wants to play 90 minutes, but I don't think the players that were on the bench from the start were really happy with the choice I made. So, but Trent came back from the national team, where in the beginning of the tournament he played quite a lot. Then he didn't. Had a few weeks off. Came back. It's only his third game, and we have to take care of him as well because we need him for the whole season and not only for the first 2 games.
Well, they need him for the entire season and not just for the 2 games that they've played well. That is Liverpool boss. There's some other matches that will be coming up in the EFL Cup. And Everton boss Sean Dyche has challenged his French players to force themselves into the first team by using the League Cup tie against Doncaster this evening.
So people laying down markers. If they haven't been playing, then go and lay down a marker and make sure that you're playing on Saturday. It's a message generally. I say every day's a chance to show us what you can do, whether that's training, whether it's games. Obviously, games are more relevant because it's a more visually measurable part of what we do. But even in training, players can learn lay down markers where you go, and they keep that high level consistency where you think they're pushing. So we want players to do that every day. But of course, when games come around, show us what you can do. That's what we want, especially the new players, because they've only had a limited time with us.
So that is from Sean Dyche on the current situation of Everton. This evening they play against Doncaster. Now Manchester City have agreed a £21.2 million deal with Saudi Pro League club Al Hilal to sell defender Joao Cancelo. Personal terms are not thought to be a problem, although Cancelo is yet to agree to the move. If he does, the 30-year-old is expected to sign a 3-year contract ending his 5-year stay at the Etihad Stadium. City manager Pep Guardiola said earlier this month that Cancelo could play for the club again. Now to some devastating news, and Sven-Göran Eriksson, Sweden's manager and who was England's first foreign international, that is national team manager for the Three Lions, has died at the age of 76. He had a terminal pancreatic cancer. Eriksson won 18 trophies with clubs across Europe and led England from 2001 to 2006, reaching 3 consecutive quarterfinals in major tournaments. That is the 2002 World Cup in Korea and Japan, in the 2004 European Championship, and 2006 in Germany at the World Cup. His tenure included managing stars like Beckham, Gerrard, Rooney, and then Darren Bent. Ian Wright and Darren Bent have shared their fond memories of Sven-Göran Eriksson.
Very, very sad loss. A gentleman, real gentleman. My first kind of interaction with him was in and around Sean, when Sean was being in and around the squad, when he came in and he was in and out of it. So it was really strange. When I didn't know him, I was like, saying, how come he's not putting him in? And then I remember meeting him with Arsene Wenger and speaking to him for about 45 minutes. And he was exactly how you see him, very polite, very lovely. He was very warm, and it's a real sad day. It's a real sad day.
Yeah, he did, yeah. I mean, it came as a bit of a shock because I think it was 1 game out of the Championship, got the move to Charlton, played 1 game, and the phone rang and it was Ben saying he's going to pick me to being part of the squad, and fond memories. I mean, as I said, I still thought someone was winding me up when the phone call first came through. But to get picked for your country, I mean, that's the pinnacle. We will speak about it. So the fact that he showed faith in me and gave me that opportunity is certainly something I'll never ever forget.
So that is it there from Darren Bent and Ian Wright, paying tribute to the former manager. Now Juventus became the only Serie A team to move within both of its opening 2 games of the season after Dusan Vlahovic scored twice in a 3-0 victory over Chievo Verona on Monday. Right back Nicolo Savona, who is also a product from the Juventus Academy, scored on his few debut as Juventus earned a second straight 3-0 win. They defeated Como in the first game by 3-0, and Como also managed to end their first ever Serie A point in more than 2 decades when Cesc Fabregas' team came back from a goal down to draw 1-1 at Cagliari. Fabregas, the former Arsenal and Barcelona midfielder who also played for Chelsea, helped guide Como back into the top flight last season after a 21-year absence. But the Lombardi-based club lost its opener 3-0 to Juventus and had to settle for a 1-1 draw against Cagliari. Now, Nigeria have announced the appointment of Bruno Labbadia as the new national team boss. So he is a German and he is going to coach the Super Green Eagles ahead of the international break that would see Nigeria play in the African Nations Cup qualifiers. Well, Labadia is a German-Italian tactician and is going to bring a lot of experience and as well as control to the national team. So a very prolific striker in his play days, Bruno Labbadia, in tactical flexibility and pragmatism is what he loves best. He's had some success at some top clubs, including Bayer Leverkusen, Hamburg SV, and VfL Wolfsburg. He also ensured that Stuttgart had a set place finish in the Bundesliga and a spot in the UEFA Europa League. So that is it there from Nigeria's new boss, Bruno Labbadia. Now let's get into the US Open, where Coco Gauff, who is just 20 years, began her title Open defense with a decisive 6-2, 6-love win over Varvara Gracheva, the American who won her first Grand Slam last year at the US Open. Views this tournament as a victory lap for her. So she's very much eager to make wonders. Now, Novak Djokovic started his quest for a record 25th Grand Slam title at the US Open, defeating Radu Albot 6-2, 6-2, 6-4 in the first round. Currently tied with Margaret Court at 24 majors. One more will give him the all-time record. This was Djokovic's first match since winning Olympic gold in Paris 23 days ago, which he called his biggest sporting achievement. However, Dominic Thiem had to suffer an early exit as he was eliminated in the first round of the tournament by Ben Shelton. The Austrian lost in straight sets, 6-4, 6-2, 6-2 to Ben Shelton. So very much unfortunate from him. But Carlos Alcaraz had to feel some pain in his body and decided to cut his practice session very, very short. He explained why he decided not to go too far.
Stop my practice just for precaution. I didn't feel comfortable enough to keep practicing, just in case if everything is gonna be worse. But you know, after a few hours later, I still feeling good. You know, my feet. So tomorrow I'll try to be practicing again. I'm 100% without thinking about it, and but today I'll take care about it.
So that is from Carlos Alcaraz. There is going to be a lot to expect today in the US Open. But let's finish off with some news from Paralympics. In the next 24 hours, the world will watch para-athletes battle for medals at the Paris 2024 Olympics. Among the referees is David Trinebua-Kodua, who will be the first Ghanaian referee at the Paralympics. Billy Shen caught up with him and tells his story as he's going to make history for Ghana.
About 10 years ago, David Trinebua-Kodua was walking in the four corners of the University of Cape Coast, mulling over his career path. Today, he's making the trip to France for the 2024 Paralympic Games and will serve as the only Ghanaian referee during the Games.
In September last year, I got the appointment. I called my wife that, hey, I'm going to Paris. And she was like, I will go with you. I said, no, it's not possible. Wait.
Kodua is a level 2 licensed referee for goalball, a team sport designed specifically for athletes with vision impairment and one of 23 disciplines in Paris. He first started his journey with hopes of becoming a professional footballer and was a regular for the UCC team. But in 2014, an incident at the Ghana University Sports Association Games changed his career path.
The visually impaired group came to me that they want to have a friendly game with University of Ghana, but they don't have any coach at the session. The visually impaired asked me to train them. I knew nothing about blind sports.
With a newly acquired passion for goalball, Kodua took referee courses in Ivory Coast and Egypt, attaining his level 2 license 2 years ago. Since then, Kodua has officiated several goalball inter-hole games and the International Blind Sports Association African Championships in Egypt last year. A chance to represent Ghana at the Paralympics represents the pinnacle of his growth, but he has bigger ambitions for the sport.
I'm focused to work in the line of developing blind sports globally, not Ghana per se. So once I have the chance to meet experienced people at the Paralympic Games, I will definitely learn from them.
The best teams in the world will battle for the gold ball gold medal starting August 29th. But for Ghanaians, it will be an opportunity to see David Kodia enforcing the rules of the game and flying the flag high.
So that is David Kodia, and hopefully he's going to make Ghana proud once again, as well as our athletes who are going to make sure they get some glory for the nation. That'll be all for sports this morning. My name is Kelvin Owusu Ansah. There is more sports news on 3news.com as well as 3 Sports GH across all the socials. Thanks to Amaka and Frankie Champon for the production. Sunrise continues. Well, you've missed him, I've missed him. DJ Abiam is here. We'll serve you with some fine tunes before the show continues. It's a hugely terrific Tuesday for all of us, so let's enjoy.